start it nice and good here.
All right, let's do this.
Hello, YouTube. Welcome to a Sonic 3 movie review with myself, Selma98, and Mr. Bickuribox12 as he tries to kill me here. I'm not a particular fan of having just like trailer footage looping over and over again over movie reviews, so we figured we'd play a little Sonic Adventure 2 via the Dolphin Net Play. So that's the footage you're watching, and we're playing it as we're talking right now.
God, SA2, bless your heart.
Mr. Bickuribox, how are you doing this fine evening?
I'm pretty good. I'm doing better than the game is running. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
we like to call it chaos control is what's happening sometimes in the game. But anyway, let's dive into the movie thoughts. I have seen it twice.
I've seen it once so far, but a very strong viewing.
Very strong. he had the notepad out during the watch.
Sometimes oh my god. Sometimes it was a wall.
Oh, that's a shame.
Sometimes I think about that. Like I'm like, huh. If I do a video on this, it might actually be kind of nice to take some notes, because then I forget things. Yeah. I'm watching other people's reviews and I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. That was a great part.
Oh shit, why didn't I talk about that?
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
Anyway, neither of us have notes for this, so it's going to be perfect.
Oh yeah.
Just sort of a ramble cast for you guys to listen to while you, I don't know, mindlessly scroll Twitter or whatever it is Gen Z does nowadays. Anywho, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to do our spoiler-free thoughts, which is going to be a quick sentence. Since I guess I'm recording here, I'll go first. And that's, I really like the movie, and I definitely think if you are a fan of Sonic and Adventure 2, what is going on your screen, dude?
Yeah, I haven't played Adventure 2 in a couple of years, so let's just make that clear right now.
I played it last week, so this is obviously a very fair and
also,
serious race.
I'm still windowed again. I forgot to make it full screen. I'm very tiny. Honestly, I'm kind of used to it. God dang!
Well, anyway, I like the movie. I definitely think if you like Adventure 2, and hopefully play it a little better than Bick does, then you will also enjoy the movie. I don't think it'll sway your opinion if you don't like the first two Sonic movies. It's a lot of the humor is the same, and it has definitely that kids movie feel. But what was there was, I think, better than the first two, from my memories of them. So, those are my thoughts.
I pretty much agree with that. With the, aside from like, let me see. Like the third act of the second movie was very exciting because it had like this long build up to it.
Right.
God dang. Yeah. Also There's a reason I don't. Holy smokes. I haven't done a Let's Play in a long time either.
Yeah, you record
the old talk and play.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah, the old talk and play action. It's so good.
Let's go.
It just makes the review that much more special.
What I was trying to say was, yeah, I think that the third movie is definitely my favorite of the three. I had a really good time watching it. I think that they found their... Like, they kind of honed everything. I thought that this was... In terms of action, probably had the most action out of the three. The scenes that we had were great. It was paced almost too well. Like, it was almost... I was like, holy smokes, I could have stood with a little more.
Holy smokes, the quality. It's so good.
Yeah,
What's happening?
It was too good. And even I thought this was the funniest of the three. I actually laughed out loud quite a number of times. And the other ones had a couple of good jokes as well, but I think this one's going to land for a lot more people. Mm-hmm. I wasn't like, no, I don't know if people are going to like this too much. Like, even the dance thing that people have discussed.
Spoiler free!
Yeah.
Spoiler free. There is dancing in the movie. Sorry.
Yeah.
A very critical plot point, I'm sure, ruined it for everyone.
But it was in the second one, there was the scene.
Oh, the Uptown Funk, yeah.
Yeah, people, I know that was one that not everybody was like, all right, what's going on here? Right. But I think that the way that they oh my goodness, I can't tell. That might have helped.
Well, anywho, since
but yeah,
I know we're both
agree.
itching.
It was a great time.
Yeah. We're both itching to talk about it. So if you came to a full movie review for spoiler-free thoughts for whatever reason, there you go. Can't yell at us in the comments now. Anywho, so let's go ahead and dive in. We don't have a particular plan, so I'm sure we'll just be jumping around to everything and hopefully enjoying our voices for about the next hour or so. So is there any particular is there any particular thing you want to talk about to start off?
Man, I don't know. About, Dude, I don't know.
All right.
How have you been?
Oh, I've been great. Just watch the Sonic movie 3. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and jump into the hot water right away because it's my 2 problems that I have with the movie. Because there's so much good to talk about. I want to get some of the negative out of the way first.
Sure.
That I don't like the part from after the first fight with Shadow in Tokyo, after the motorcycle chase, from the Chow Garden portion up until they go to the gun base. Is even on my second watch, I was like, can we please just get to the stuff already? Like, if that part with the meeting Eggman and stuff, like the Chow Garden bit was cute, and there was the Pokemon joke, which I thought was really funny. Tails looking like Detective Pikachu.
He does,
He does.
The fur is very similar.
Pokemon is also a series that I loved growing up, so it was fun to see the 2 cross over in some way. But other than that, I just wasn't a big fan. And I mean, the General Winter guy, I know he was like really prominent in the previous movies, but he just kind of dies with no real fanfare.
I know, there was so little fanfare, I almost wondered if it was a fake out.
Yeah. And it kind of was. Well, he's actually certainly dead, as far as we know.
Right, yeah, it's unconfirmed but implied.
It's not the actor's last appearance, though, in the movie. Because of the Mission Impossible scene. I'd like to think, so when I saw it in theaters, the movie trailer, oh wow, lucky you. Normally that knocks me off the
scripting survives, yeah.
And the last preview before the movie started was Mission Impossible Reckoning. So I like to think that maybe they did that as a little homage to that trailer, and Sonic directly makes like a Tom Cruise reference somewhere.
That's right.
Movie
and there's
Sonic,
a lot of running.
Yeah, that was something that I kind of forgot about, is he's kind of like pop culture man. He just makes pop culture references throughout the whole thing, which I actually kind of like. It's a fun quirk to his character.
Another thing I think they did probably the best in this one.
Yeah, the humor was definitely on point. I laughed at a lot of the jokes, even the second time around, honestly. There was, in terms of the music, okay, this wasn't one of my main problems because I love the Sonic music, but I mean, the Mario movie still does it way better. I don't know if you've seen the Mario movie.
Nope, I have, No contest.
Yeah, it's no contest that the Mario movie still does it better. I don't know why. They have the game series that's most well-known and consistently good in its music, and they just don't use the music. I mean, they use Live and Learn as a leitmotif throughout literally the entire movie, but at most, we get like 15 seconds of it anyway. So
there could always be a little more.
Right. And
a lot more.
It's just like, I don't know why they're so scared to use stuff. I mean, there's a little Green Hill thing. Someone mentioned to me that there's a City Escape leitmotif somewhere. I did not catch it either time I watched it. So it must be really subtle. I guess if someone wants to tell me where it is, then I'd be happy to know, because I was really listening for it the second time around. But yeah.
God, I hope nobody's watching the right side of the screen.
It's okay, I'm the main character. Well, maybe not in this movie, but...
Yeah, actually, holy smokes, I'm doing such a disservice.
Exactly.
Oh, I gotta lock in.
Real quickly, we could actually talk about the Tokyo DLC for Shadow Generations as well, since it was movie related. I did a video on it. I know Bick's video is coming soon, TM, at the time of recording this, but I know it's going to be a banger. I guess
it's going to be as long as the movie.
Yeah. Little preview of thoughts on the DLC without giving away too much, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see that we see eye to eye on a number of things, and the the DLC is no different. I think it's another strong stage that is just too short and should have a skippable cutscene, but the parts that you play are good.
Yeah.
The remix is great, and the jump ball is awesome.
Yeah, oh my god, dude, the jump ball is so sick. I like how Movie Shadow looks other than the ashiness, and there's also this, the people who made the Essential Shadow Enhancements mod, which is one of my favorite mods for Shadow Gens. It fixes his colors up and gives him this really awesome skate boost. I'm Team Skate Boost. And they did one for Movie Shadow as well. And I like both. I like both the regular model and the remake model that they did for it. And the Skate Boost animation, of course, is fantastic. But I completely agree with you. Is that I actually thought it was more fun the more I've replayed it, and especially using the no mid-level cutscenes mod to remove the cutscenes, it makes the level so much better.
I really thought, and you guys picked up on this too, I really thought that you would be able to chaos control and homing attack a helicopter to skip that cutscene. Yeah. I really thought, because there is one there, and I was like, oh, did they put that here to let you skip it? But
yeah, kind of like Speed Highway.
Probably, yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. Oh well.
Dang.
That's a shame. Oh god.
Oh my first win.
Movie spoilers. No. Anyway, so back to the movie. My other problem with it is that it does such a good job. Now, Sonic 2 is the one I have the least memories of because, well, for me, Sonic Movie 1 is just Thor. It's pretty much beat for beat Thor, with the climax also being just directly what Thor does. Movie 2, I remember the climax versus the Death Egg robot and stuff like that, and the Uptown Funk piece and everything. My main problem is that while Sonic 2, I think, delivered on the climax it set up, on both watches, I don't think that the climax was good enough for what they set up in the movie. I don't know if they ran out of time to animate Super Sonic and Super Shadow, but I think we see them for, I don't know, a total of maybe like a minute of the movie's runtime, and it's such a shame that I expected, a big fight at the end. Shadow's resolved now, Sonic's resolved, they're all super de-duper. I thought, Gerald was gonna imprison Eggman and then just like go ham with the Eclipse Cannon's defenses, and they were gonna have to fight through it, but that didn't happen. Instead, we cut from the Adventure 2 shot to a shot of Jim Carrey slapping himself in the ass. Actually, I think I have my scenes mixed up here. I think that might be like while they're fighting, but
I forget what the cut is too.
But it was so sad. It was so sad, and I wish it delivered better, because this movie, to talk positives now, unless you want to talk your negatives if you have any, while we're talking that.
Well, I would agree. That was kind of what I meant by, like, I felt like the movie could have been a bit longer, or so to speak, was like, because it was so well paced that we kind of sped through certain arcs and scenes like that. Because I remember I checked my phone. I was like, okay, we're about to go into space, and we're already like an hour 20 in. We're only gonna have like 20 minutes of the final scene, are we? Did I get it?
Oh, damn it.
Too easy.
Yeah. I don't
my
even.
mic's clipping. Oh shoot.
I don't know if the movie even needed to be longer, to be honest. Like, just cutting out that,
whatever that means, like either longer or a scene gets cut, or stretch out other scenes, like whatever creates better pacing.
The Jim Carrey cutaways in space where he's fighting himself are so slow. It didn't bother me the first watch, but the second watch I was really bothered by just how slow all the movements were. It like this is
they're old.
Also, massive missed opportunity. This is Eggman with nanomachines. Like, we literally could have had so many references to all of his different, like, vehicles and bosses and maybe even new stuff across.
Yeah.
Like, but, okay, we get a scorpion and mantis hands. Like, all right.
Yeah. Like, not even green mantis hands.
Right.
So you could, like, pass it off as a slicer.
Yeah. But it's such a shame that it really feels like the budget ran out. once we got to space.
I know, yeah. It could have been really cool to see, like, different robots or any kind of...
Right.
Yeah, that was probably the weirdest choice, like, not necessarily an out-of-touch pick, but, like, is this a reference to anything? Like, it seems like it would be, because of its placement. Like, this is a very pivotal part in the film.
Mm-hmm. And this film is chock full of references, too, in both dialogue and in visual gags, and obviously set pieces and stuff.
Yeah, and the most Sonic music we finally get.
Right. Man, it's just, it makes me so mad because it is so good.
Yeah, I know,
that it's just like the climax is just so underwhelming for what the movie sets up. It's just such a shame. Because, you know, Sonic and Shadow, they don't even fight the Eggmen. Like, there's no confrontation between the two. Like, they fight nameless gun robots that Gerald sends after them for a couple seconds. And that's it. They share a few whips. And
yeah, they kind of like... There's a lot of villain swapping at the end.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, kind of makes sense. And, you know, Adventure 2-y and all that.
Yeah, because I agree. I mean, well, the film opens with Live and Learn. That was such a surprise on the acoustic.
Yeah, oh my god, that was so like, cool.
That was a, like... jaw-dropping.
Oh shit! It's right here.
Point at the screen.
Oh no! Did I get it?
Got it? Oh, I got it! Oh my god!
Damn it, dude! Whoever's in the comments, keep track of our score here. I think that's kind of it on negatives, though. Unless you have anything else you wanted to mention.
No, it was pretty much the same thing. Like, yeah, there's the very beginning is awesome, and then they have to like provide a lot of exposition to like set up Shadow, and it's like, you know, the scenes have to slow down, and then that comes into the issue where they are trying to cram a lot in, and so it's like it could have been like a little stretched out in some areas and, you know, trimmed in others.
Yeah, and it's too slow for too long at that particular portion, I think.
Yeah, but then in between all that, that's pretty much all I had a problem with. I really just wanted a little bit more from those lacking scenes. That was kind of it.
Right.
And I understand that that's like kind of part of the difficulty with making an animated film that for some reason can't like go to 2 hours. I feel like kids' movies just don't.
Yeah,
and
that's
animated
true.
films especially,
that's true.
Right? I mean, granted, this whole thing isn't animated, but, you know, a lot of it
and
is.
now we have 5 CGI characters instead of just 1.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously there's plenty of other CGI in all of the movies, but, you know,
I'm trying to remember,
having
like... Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go
I was
ahead.
trying to remember, like, how long is, like, say, a Pixar movie usually?
I would say hour 40. I think that's where this clocks in. Like, I think, like, Toy Story is an hour 40. Cars, I want to say, is an hour 40. I'm not entirely certain on that one. But, yeah, it's similar runtime. And I don't know, maybe they had to pay Jim Carrey double to play both Eggmans. I'm not entirely sure how one actor playing 2 characters works. And then, of course, paying Keanu Reeves. He's certainly not cheap either. So...
And for the game.
Yeah, true. I don't know if that came out of Paramount's pocket, though, or if that came out of Sega's pocket.
Probably, yeah,
I'm
I would imagine.
honestly curious about that. I don't know.
I don't know how that translates, too.
Yeah, and since on the topic of him, thank God that Keanu Reeves does not sound like how he does in the DLC.
Yeah, that's definitely a case of, like, we're not going to get him in the booth for more than we need to, because it's Keanu Reeves, come on.
Right. Yeah. This is how Maria described the Earth.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense, even in context of the movie. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's almost like it's some alternate dimension Shadow, like where he's...
Yeah, I thought the idea was it was supposed to be like game Shadow, and he's just in the guise of movie Shadow. In a different, movie dimension. But then, I don't know.
I see we're in tropical jungle again.
Yeah, Chaos Control is taking us for most of Final Rush here. I'll make sure the game audio is nice and low, so that
nobody else has to suffer.
Yeah, not too intrusive. Let's see. So yeah, Keanu Reeves' performance was pretty good. I remember after my first watch, there was one particular line that irked me. Is when Maria, Maria doesn't get shot in the movie, And I guess I don't want to go on too many tangents to get to the point. But I do want to say, I think that everything that was taken from Adventure 2 as inspiration for this movie, it was done better in the movie than it was done in Adventure 2. There's not a single thing that I prefer from this game to the movie. I thought it was super... The one thing I did like about the movies that started with Sonic 2 and the Master Emerald is the consolidation of the MacGuffins. Like how the Chaos Emeralds are part of the Master Emerald. I really liked how the gun base was on Earth. And I love how they handled Maria getting shot. And I noticed on my second watch that it's actually Commander Walters who is like, what are you gonna... You can't shoot a little girl.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a young Captain Walters. I didn't notice that the first time. I just thought it was just a random person. But that was really cool.
Yeah, which makes it all the more layered that Shadow got so mad when he saw him.
Yeah.
And whenever Tom was impersonating him.
That was... Yeah.
Because Shadow probably didn't see that.
Rockwell just kind of had to be there. I barely remember her. I almost forgot about her until you mentioned that scene again. Is it
right? Yeah.
I know she has to be in the movie. She's literally just a plot device. She's really a non-character. But it leads to the greatest line in the movie.
I was
a woman in the military.
About to say, I was just about. We erupted in laughter when that happened.
It's so funny.
It was so unexpected, so funny.
Yeah, there was a lot of... This movie felt like it knew its audience a lot better.
Yeah.
I think. Because, like, there were a lot more adult jokes that were a lot less subtle than beforehand. Which ones haven't we played yet? I don't think we've done Final Chase and Skyrail.
No. Yeah, I think the humor was really... a nice step up. Again, I think they've come into their own by having two movies to kind of practice what their audience is. Because with that first one, I'm sure they didn't even know
who was going to see
what would become of it.
Yeah.
And who was going to see it. And then they had the design change, like just all these... That was my brain on lag right there. I'm going to homing attack this box.
It still is very much a kid's movie, though, in terms of, like, literally hand-fisting the moral of the story to you.
Yeah, but the story beats for sure.
Yeah, it does it in a fun way, though. So, like, I don't care, and it's still very emotional, and it's hard for me. Adventure 2 was one of the first games I played with my brother. It's very difficult to not get emotional during Live and Learn when it plays, because when we got to the final hazard the first time, you know, I'm like 4 years old, and was I 4 at the time? 3 or 4, whenever I played it. We like switched between Sonic and Shadow during it, and it blasted in the background. It's like, you don't give a fuck about all the plot holes when you're 4. You're saving the goddamn Earth with your favorite cartoon hedgehogs.
When you get to that point, even if you do notice them getting to that point, nothing matters now.
Yeah, right. Because that's one of the things I always like praise about Adventure 2's story, is that despite what a mess it is, it's like the emotional beats are so good that it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
I didn't even grow up with that game. I didn't grow up with any Sonic game. But the very ending of it, I'm like when that final shot of Shadow, you know, whenever he's supposed to die, shows up, and I'm just like, you know what? That works. It works.
These tubes! Stop it! Oh my god. No! So let's see what we were talking about. Yeah, how they handled killing Maria was awesome. I prefer that.
Probably the best way they could do it.
Yeah.
Even for like trying to tone it down a little bit, but still have it be just as real. She is dead.
I heard a criticism that like Gerald didn't show how close he was to Maria before the big reveal and whatever. And I honestly kind of like that. It was like, because I mean, through the whole thing, he's like pushing down how he actually feels in order to keep Eggman on his side and like manipulate him and stuff. So like, you know, once the veil's finally lifted, I think that's the best line Jim delivers in the movie was the "You're no Maria."
Yeah,
I thought that was like super.
That
good.
was cold.
It was so.
I understand what they mean, because like the idea that he's willing to destroy the entire planet and himself, and you don't get any, like, you just kind of have to imply that that level of consequence is what drives his is his driving force. Like the idea that he would be willing to do all of that is your evidence that he cares about Maria, but at the same time, like, yeah, having a flashback or a scene, or, I don't know, maybe he holds on to some memory of her, like he has a picture that he looks at, anything to kind of clue in. Like, I could understand wanting something more like that in there.
Yeah, I get that. I think him crying, like, during the flashback, what would you think of if that flashback were earlier in the movie? Where Maria gets killed. Instead of where it is. Do you think maybe that would have been better?
Oh, dang. I was mashing because I saw numbers on your screen. Whoa. You know what? I'm having a hard time remembering what that scene was.
It was when they were on the Ark, and Shadow's like, "Are you sure we should be doing this?" And he's like, "Remember the pain."
Oh, right.
But of course, we're already in space, so the movie's almost over, as, you mentioned. So, like, maybe having the Ark blow up scene would have been better. Maybe, like, take out some of the gravity stuff. That whole, like, gravity debacle for the second key or whatever.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's a tough one. Again, I totally see, like, why they did what they did.
Right.
Because, yeah, I think, like you said, keeping it a secret until the end makes sense, so that way his true motivation is unclear. Because, yeah, obviously we know he's going to turn bad at some point, but, yeah, I'm trying to imagine, like, what an unsuspecting viewer is thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how obvious is it that he's going to be evil, or maybe it is a twist?
I think it's fairly obvious. When they show up in London, when Eggman, Shadow, and Gerald show up in London, he's like, "Oh, don't worry, Shadow, you'll get revenge beyond what you could even imagine."
That's true.
I think that's pretty,
There'll be nothing left to rule.
He's gonna blow up everybody.
Yeah.
Type deal.
That's
but
true.
I mean, I do get it, but I also like how subtle it was.
Yeah.
That it's like, I could totally see somebody who's unfamiliar, or if you're a kid, and just be like, "Oh my god," especially, with the whole, like, Beach Boy montage of them bonding. No!
Oh my gosh.
Man, from behind. You want to switch characters?
Yeah, sure.
I think we played every level.
Oh, we did, huh?
Metal Sonic fan or Amy fan?
Oh, how topical.
We're not there yet. They need a reason to watch to the end. Pick your poison.
Well, I guess I'll stay on the right side right now.
All right, sounds good.
Metal.
Goodness. So, yeah, Maria scene, maybe the flashback could have been earlier. I think maybe that could have helped. Like, either during the gravity scene, or, I don't know, maybe after Shadow just punches the hell out of Tom. That could have been a nice spot for it, because that was a good, like, 10-ish minutes before they went into space. True. So
that is another thing they did well, was the human stuff.
Yeah, the human stuff was great.
That's a big point that everyone's saying is, oh my god, I was looking at Amy the whole time. The fact that I was looking at your screen from the beginning of the level, and it took me that long to die.
You got to be used to player one, man.
Yeah,
all right. Player one, I guess.
But yeah,
maybe there could have been good.
Oh, he's got a. See, I'm learning.
Yeah,
things.
he's got a high jump, and then he has a shield that blocks
yeah.
special abilities. That it could have been nice it being a little bit earlier, because Gerald, it does have a big shot of Gerald crying in that flashback.
Oh, that's true.
I wasn't 100% sure about that, but on second watch, I made sure to pay attention there, and yeah.
Were there any other references or, like, little things that you noticed on the second viewing?
Oh my gosh, so many.
So many? That's awesome.
They really shoved a lot of, like, the straight up dialogue from Adventure 2. Obviously the big one, the low budget flights that Sonic says. There's also a reference when Knuckles goes go ghosts when he's gonna before he fights King Boom Boo. Agent Stone, when they first entered the gun place, he's like, "What are you afraid of? Go ghosts?"
Yeah, that's
I
right.
didn't catch that the first time. That was really cool. I really liked the subtle telling of when the Eclipse Cannon launches, it eclipses the sun.
Oh,
which
nice.
I didn't notice my first time, even though it's incredibly obvious.
Right, yeah, sometimes you just miss things
Yeah,
like
you
that.
just miss that super obvious stuff. And then, of course, the references with all the humans looking at the TV screens, with Eggman on there, of course, and then Eggman being a Twitch streamer was kind of funny.
Oh, that's
Dr.
right.
Robotnik has entered the chat. Got a laugh out of me.
That was really good.
Oh goodness, like there's just so much.
So many.
The bio lizard on the TV was really funny as well.
Yeah, I didn't catch that when I first heard it, but then I heard someone mention it.
Yeah. I was
like, oh my gosh, that's why they were watching it.
Yeah, that was really funny. Oh goodness. Shit. There was one that I wanted to make sure to mention that I caught that I thought was hilarious. I don't remember. It was near the end of the movie. I'll see if I can try to remember it, and while I'm doing that, I'll ask you, what were your thoughts on Agent Stone's inclusion?
Oh yeah, you know, similar to, oh my god. Well, while I'm dead, yeah, let me answer. I like Stone quite a bit. He's always been a little bit in the background, and it seems like that arc has been building up to the idea of him, like, you know, getting kind of sidelined, which did happen. Did that happen in the second movie? Like, did he kind of get,
I don't know
like,
if
once
he got sidelined in the second movie.
No, I might just be confusing it with him, whenever Eggman got super powerful. I thought he was gonna, like, abandon him or something.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. I think that the way they handled it was very realistic, because Eggman has never had any family, and now suddenly he does, so he's gonna care about that way more, and it was very spontaneous, and I think that makes sense. God, I keep trying to spin dash.
I'm scared you can't.
But yeah, I like Stone quite a bit. I think seeing him kind of have I don't really know what his drive is to be with Eggman.
That's what I was thinking too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, now that I think about it, why is he bad?
Yeah, why does he care so much? He
Yeah,
even has this little chat with Tails.
Yeah. You know what? What did he say to Tails there? Because my friend said something to me during that part, and I missed it, and everybody laughed.
He said, he's like, I just gotta let you know that you're freaking adorable. And Tails is like, thanks! I also love that they kept it where, you know, when Eggman rips his shirt off to make the new suit, that entire time he doesn't have a shirt on.
Yeah, that was so funny.
He has his tie and his blazer. It's really funny.
I need room.
I also didn't watch the Knuckles show.
Me either.
But what was really funny is the crowd booed when Wade showed up.
Oh my goodness. That's so funny.
So, I mean, it seems like I have not kept up with Marvel since Endgame, but I imagine similar things like that where there's just that little reference to the TV show, and then
yeah, I think that was it. I really do think that was the whole point. That's the only reason he's in there, and even then, you can fill in the gaps yourself. So it was kind of a safe inclusion.
Yeah, since he was the character in all three movies.
Holy moly, this is the final rush. I don't think it can take much more of this. This is wild.
It looks like, or you can't see it, but with the HD texture pack, it's using the Sonic CD banner for Metal Sonic. Here, you can check point abuse if you want.
Might be for the best.
Yeah, they'll be able to see it on screen, but...
except it's the longest fall to get to the kill plane.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dolphin Net Play is great, but I don't know. It seems we've had a couple issues with Adventure 2.
Yeah, that's alright.
Well, let's see. Back to
it's worth it for the
movie. So, Agent Stone, I thought it was fine. I'm excited to see if, you know, Jim Carrey actually retires or comes back as Eggman in Sonic 4, and what Agent Stone does, if he's going to have more agency as a character, or he just gets sidelined. I have no clue.
Yeah, he could easily, like, fill in the shoes, but would people want that is the question, even though he's fairly likable now. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, there's got to be some big bad coming.
Yeah.
That's, like, iconic from the games and whatnot.
Let's see. They included Shadow's inhibitor rings. Part of this. Also loves that the inhibitor rings, like, kind of glowed like the bounce bracelet. While Shadow was super. That was really cool looking. Kind of like the 06 one. That is kind of like with the center ring. So that was really neat. He didn't really do much with the inhibitor rings, though. I mean, like, obviously he pushed the canon.
Right, yeah. A lot of it was off screen, yeah.
No space colony inclusion, I loved, because I always thought that it was just kind of like a random thing.
It makes sense more for being a game.
Yeah, because to have levels to go through.
Yeah.
But just having it be the Eclipse canon and that's it was very nice, I think.
It makes sense.
I think big elephant in the room, I don't know what people think about the dance scene with the two Eggmen. It's kind of funny. Also, quick context is that there's a deleted scene that I saw that explains that Gerald is able to stay alive because of the shadow quill that he had.
Whoa.
Which is like why before he does like the big athletics stuff, he like takes a zap of it. I also think it's funny that both of them use the quills as drugs.
Yeah.
Like drugs. That was really funny.
Moly. That's what the lightning bolt and the Gatorade is for.
Yeah. To zap him back to his youth.
That's his electrolyte.
Let's see.
But yeah, I thought the dancing was, I thought it was, it might just be better than the 1 and 2 because it's Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Straight up, you know,
did you get a likable actor. Dance scene in 2? Or was
no,
it just the
3.
Uptown Funk dance scene? Because he had the initial dance in the first one.
Right. He just, he flosses in the first 2 movies, apparently.
Yeah. The full-on, that was, it was fun. But again, it's like sort of the thing, it's like, okay, if that was included with a good climax, then I wouldn't care. But it's like, okay, you know, we get this, like, 3-minute dance number, and then, you know, 1 minute of Supersonic and Super Shadow. But,
I wonder how long it, it was pretty short with the transformations. Probably, what do you think, like, maybe 3 total minutes of them being super, like, from fighting each other to teaming up?
Fighting each other to the end. Well, obviously Shadow's super for a good amount longer, but them actually doing stuff in their super forms.
The fake out where the trailer shot, he was in his normal form, where he says, "This ends now." And then in the movie, he's super.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't watch any of the trailers, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had that where he's, you know, blocking his hand, but they're not super. So they pulled a No Way Home where they edited the trailer to look a certain way, so that way you would be thrown off. That was
like
really
Infinity
cool.
War 2 did that with like the Hulk being in the background, I think.
Oh. And we was like, oh my god, that's the part.
Yeah.
I remember that. But yeah, whenever Live and Learn kicked in, we were waiting for it the whole time, and then it did, and we were like, all right, yeah.
Oh, the whole time they're talking on the moon, I'm like, all right, we're going to hold hands, and Live and Learn's going to start blasting.
Yeah, you better play it now.
Yeah, but again, just such a shame. It was like, not the whole song, obviously. But it's like, come on, you're going to use Live and Learn. You have Sonic fans by the balls. Just fully indulge in that. But
yeah, it is weird.
It had to be they ran out of money. They just ran out and had to figure out a way to make the climax work. And I think that's what caused it to just be so underwhelming. Because also the shots when they are super, they're not super on screen for very long. Or like they're a little bit farther away from the camera. And stuff like that.
True. We do get some cool shots of them fighting the robots.
Yeah, it's just a shame that is it, and they're just fighting robots.
Well, hopefully we get more next time.
I really hope so.
Yeah, now that, I mean, geez, these movies make a fair amount of money.
Well, this one did better. Oh, that was what I wanted to mention. I really hope that Eggman, like, Gerald pseudo-killing Eggman was a Lion King reference since the prequel came out.
Oh my goodness.
Because, I mean, like, he steps on his hands, and, like, Eggman falls the exact same way that Mufasa falls in The Lion King.
Oh my gosh. That would be crazy.
It seems way too... I would love to see the two scenes next to each other, because it seems way too obvious to be to just be a coincidence. Because, like, of course, Gerald steps on his hands. And I don't remember if Scar says any last words to Mufasa in The Lion King. But if he does, well...
All I know is the long live the king thing.
Yeah. It like, had to be intentional if that was the case. But
I know, what timing, man. That's pretty crazy if that was true.
Yeah. Let's see. Tails and Knuckles are great. Knuckles is my favorite character in the movie. I think Idris just might be my favorite Knuckles, period. He's really funny.
He's so good, yeah. Every scene Knuckles is in, his jokes are always funny.
Yeah, he
his
steals
demeanor, his demeanor of like being kind of out of touch, but so confident. You love him. It's so good.
And of course, I love Colleen too. He's one of the strongest voices in the game. Yeah. So it's great that she was able. It must have been kind of weird auditioning for the part, because I mean, obviously not for Sonic 3, but for Sonic 2, just being like, well, I have the resume that I've been playing Tails for 6 years or however long it's been.
Yeah, I hope this works.
Yeah.
Because you never know, considering no other game voice actor gets in.
Right, and that almost makes you wonder if like Jason or something like auditioned for Shadow. I don't think.
Yeah, I wonder.
I do wonder if maybe like past actors, like at least for Sonic and Shadow, maybe they were like, we're not going to allow past actors to audition for these parts or something.
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
I am kind of surprised they don't make a cameo though. Like even like Roger. I would have thought.
I'm sure it's something with some kind of getting paid or not getting paid, or the way that unions work. I forget what Ryan had said about that, because I know he's been asked about that. He has an answer. I forget what it was. It might just be like he's relying on his agent to like look if there are auditions for it, and they're like weren't open to him or something. I totally forget, but
gotcha.
I know he has been approached about it.
YouTube comments. Let us know. I will definitely make sure to read them.
With we definitely know why he hasn't been in the games.
Yeah, of course. Oh goodness, what else is there in the movie?
I canceled my acceleration mid loop.
That's interesting.
Oh, did I use the shield? I think that changes.
That shouldn't cancel it though. It actually has like more weighted gravity. Like you'll go down slopes faster and stuff.
I tried it there too, and nothing happened. Oh, you can only on ramps though, not springs.
Interesting. Oh, good to know when I play Sonic Adventure 2 multiplayer as Metal Sonic. my very common thing that I do. That is interesting though.
If there was canceling automation could come in handy for speedrunning, but
I don't think you're Metal Sonic.
But not in 2-player.
Yeah. Unless you're speedrunning 2-player, which maybe could be a thing.
Which I guess is the goal.
Yeah. Could be a fun like GDQ thing or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Let's see what else. So we talked climax, talked about most of it. Shadow's introduction at the very beginning, I guess, to throw it all the way back to the start of the movie, was great.
Yeah, the whole first like 15 minutes was so strong.
Yeah, him being from Meteor is cool. I guess maybe it's sort of to leave whatever direction they decide to go.
Yeah, I was questioning that myself, because it's like, oh, he's like not a creation of Gerald. Like they took a few liberties with it, as was kind of expected. But then you're like, oh yeah, Sonic's technically an alien too, so they're probably gonna set it up to where like they might be from the same place.
Yeah,
because they're both hedgehogs.
That would be cool.
I think that would, because they're trying to like make it a bit more logical than just he was a creation from 50 years ago that happens to look like Sonic.
Yeah. Now he's a creation from 50 years ago that happens to look like Sonic from space.
Because he could be from a planet of space hedgehogs.
Yes. Oh, we literally just played Metal Harbor. Well, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter too much.
I feel like that might be the direction they go. Hence, any new hedgehogs that show up.
Yeah. Well, I guess we are getting to about that time, so I suppose we can chat post credits. So, first one is that well, I guess it's the second one, but Shadow is alive. So
yeah,
that's cool. And I think they also left it ambiguous that Gerald or that Eggman could be alive.
Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna do that.
Yeah,
if they will, they're probably figuring it out.
Yeah, it all depends on whether or not Jim Carrey is gonna retire or if they can afford having him. I think the whole reason I brought up the Lion King in the first place, actually, was that, oh my goodness, so many abilities.
That's his thing.
I think it blew the box office out of the water on opening weekend.
Yeah, it made,
as far as I know,
quite a bit. I forget the number. I was looking it up.
It beat Mufasa, but honestly, it kind of doesn't surprise me as a prequel. But
Yeah, even if Sonic 3 didn't come out, I think Mufasa would have performed exactly the same.
There was another movie that came out. I don't know what it is, but there was another movie that came out this weekend that I guess was supposed to do well that it also beat, but yeah, cool that, you know, it beat Disney, woo. Yay.
Sonic wins again.
+1 for Sonic fans.
Yeah. Hey, we waited long enough to get some wins.
Yeah, and with Shadow Generations and the movie.
Yeah, the success of the movies giving budget to our games again.
Yeah, I wonder how much that overlaps. I mean, it's I overlap some so that Paramount can use the characters.
Flew out of the loop at the end there.
Well, yeah, so Shadow is alive. So hopefully, like you said earlier, we get more Super Hedgehog action. That is actually, you know, Super Hedgehog action.
If we have a big robot monster at the end of this next one, we might.
Yeah, it's always going to be just sad for me, though, that it's like they could have done so much with the nano machines and the Eggmans fighting the hedgehogs. Would have been so sick. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. And now that it's happened, we won't ever have an opportunity to have it happen. Unless,
that's true. Unless there's like a...
until time travel eventually gets introduced.
Heck?
What?
What is that respawn? Did I jump off?
I think maybe you move the control stick. Because I think you have control right when you start. You start above the rail.
My mistake.
Yeah, obviously. How dare you?
I think you used the controller.
I think maybe this I think that this suit gives me more special abilities.
Oh my gosh.
I think because this is like the you got all the A rank suit.
Oh.
For Shadow.
They're copying SpongeBob. The suit gives you the powers.
That's true. That's true. And I used to play the SpongeBob movie game a lot.
This is when the show was still pretty new, too.
Yeah, true. Can't believe it.
I forget what season.
Sonic's just
that was like
copying everybody.
Yeah.
So, first post-credit scene is Amy and an army of Metal Sonics. I think it'd be really cool if Amy was evil. And she was the one controlling the Metal Sonics. That's probably not what's going to happen, obviously, but that'd be a fun twist if they wanted to do a little expectation
She's just throwing you off by destroying them.
Yeah.
I'm going to make him think I'm on their side by destroying the enemy's eye program.
It is kind of interesting, you know, they pulled out the stops. They didn't really do... I don't know what you call it. Like, movie 1 is just Thor. It doesn't really take much plot-wise from the games. Movie 2 takes a wee bit from Adventure 1. And kind of mostly, I want to just say 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, and then like a few...
Very loose adaptation.
References, yeah.
Yeah. And then this one, obviously, of course, borrows super heavily from Adventure 2. And then they go to Sonic CD. Which, I mean, I guess in terms of epic, well-received Sonic stories, Adventure 2 is kind of the last one. So,
yeah.
Like, by the general public, I want to say, not by Sonic Twitter.
Yeah, well, there's an opinion for everything.
You're right. But, you know, Adventure 2 is like the last one's like, oh, shit, I grew up with that. You know, I love the story, yada, yada. Probably.
Yeah, that's like most of the audience, or I shouldn't say most, but a big part of the audience who's going to see the movie grew up with this game.
Right. So I guess going Sonic CD's route, or maybe they're just introducing Metal Sonic and Amy and they're going to do something completely different. I don't know.
Yeah, true, because there was not one singular Metal Sonic, so maybe that's a total subversion and there's not going to be
or maybe
Metal Overlord at all, but
they're doing some hero stuff and like Neo Metal is actually controlling them and he made a bunch of clones of himself. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Because Neo Metal is one of like the least... Like, one of the most interesting, least explored characters, I want to say.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, he could shapeshift. He had this weird desire to be the bestest around, even though he claimed to be the real Sonic, even though he was a robot, stuff like that, so...
Yeah, it plays into the original themes of Sonic being an animal versus a robot.
Yeah. I'm going to switch characters, because I feel like this is super annoying for you. People to chaos control, like, every 2 seconds.
I'm like on autopilot with this.
Yeah.
I'm just like acting and reacting. I'm not even thinking. I'm trying so hard to like think about what to say.
I get you.
the dash pad slow me down, or did I just miss it?
I don't know. Or maybe some Adventure 2 weirdness happening there. But I think that's kind of, I guess suppose we can just do closing thoughts, is that I hope that, you know, they put more budget into the climax, because that is the thing I'm most disappointed with this movie. As well, I don't even care if there's as much super on screen. I just think that, like, Sonic 2 did the climax so much better.
Yeah, I think 3 had better.
3 was a better
other
movie.
Things better, but yeah, I think that the reveal of Super Sonic and him being so serious was just so cool. Like the contrast, which he does in this movie again, which was cool.
Right.
Where he's like, "All right, my best friend and father almost died. No more messing around. Like, give me the emeralds, Knuckles."
That's a problem I have with Frontiers, actually, is that I won't sidestep for too long, is that I always considered Super Sonic to be the now it's serious, you know, type deal. And I always loved how Sonic's demeanor changed to, like, this is no more jokes, it's time to really take what's going on full on. And that's what I really don't like about the alternate ending with Super Sonic 2. And just in general, the fact you use Super Sonic so much in Frontiers. But it's like Super Sonic Super Sonic treats the end as a joke. And I don't know, it just didn't feel... It's like when I'm... if he's not taking it seriously, I'm not taking it seriously type deal. Which is like, I'm sure it's cool. And I know I'm definitely in the minority with that opinion. But I definitely prefer how Super Sonic's handled, like, in the movies and
I would say
earlier
too.
games.
Okay, that's interesting. I never really thought about him being, like... I guess because he doesn't talk in in the Titan fights at all, I didn't really perceive him as, like...
Oh, I think I probably misspoke there, saying, like, I think that the Titan fight, I think it's more just you use him throughout the whole game. That it kind of lowers the impact.
I could understand that. I think that because that has always been the staple throughout the franchise, that's maybe what makes the switch up so powerful for a lot of people, because it's like we never get to use... I think that's supposed to demonstrate the gravity of the Titans.
Yeah.
The fact that they can only be beaten with Super Sonic.
Right, and now that I think about it more, like, he is pretty serious during the Titan fights. The main one I have a problem with is the Final Horizon.
You mean like throughout the whole fight, or just the ending cutscenes?
Throughout the whole fight, where he's just it doesn't feel like he's taking it seriously. Is sort of my deal. So I much prefer how Super Sonic is here, like you were saying. The whole point of the tangent was that, you know, he's still very serious, both at the end of Sonic 2 and in this one.
Right. Yeah.
And my favorite part about Adventure 2, Sonic and Shadow, the whole idea they're the same, is echoed here as well. You know, using Shadow for what I believe he is properly used for, being literally a dark mirror of Sonic and testing his resolve.
Yeah. And
then ultimately changing Shadow in the end. And Shadow, of course, actually going through a character arc.
Yeah.
In this movie.
A lot happens.
Because I'm definitely on the team where, like, in Adventure 2, he doesn't really go through a character arc. He just misremembered Maria's promise, or memory was manipulated, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he switches sides because that's not what Maria wanted. They very much make it more personal. That in the Sonic, and why I love this more, how it adapted Adventure 2's story than Adventure 2 itself, is that it's very much Shadow's choice. And, I mean, they make it explicitly clear that Shadow is making this choice, and it's not just based directly on what Maria wanted.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I think that's ultimately for the best. Give him some more agency in his choices. Like, I don't know, it's an older game, so... It's an older game that, you know, probably has some translation issues, I imagine. It's,
Yeah, from what I understand, it's like... It was written in America, then it was translated into Japanese, and then retranslated back into English. I don't know if that's a Sonic Retro rumor or what, but yeah.
Yeah, because my understanding of the story is pretty surface level, because I haven't really... it's been a long time since I've watched the cutscenes myself.
Yeah.
it was only probably one time.
That's hard too, right? You know, it just it all gets watered down. You know, it's like what is actually my opinion and what's just the amalgamation of opinions I've heard over the years.
Yeah, and there's always like
stage. My bad.
There's always the like interpretation of the story as well when something's kind of vague,
right?
Because like from my memory, I always thought like Shadow maybe following Maria's wish wasn't that he's just doing whatever Maria says, but he like she's so meaningful to him that he trusts her completely.
Yeah.
And so he would want to follow her wishes. So, and then all just comes down to execution. What you know, you can take whichever idea and make them
which Sonic
believable.
Movie 3 does better for me.
Yeah, I think that's good. You can clearly see that they have a special bond. It's his, you know, Maria was his favorite person, his only friend, and
she can play Live and Learn, which brownie points.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Yeah. No wonder he wanted her alive. Yeah.
But that's the question: is do you know how to play Live and Learn?
A little bit, yeah.
I also know a little bit.
Yeah, I know the riff.
I can do everything except for the solo.
Yeah. Remember, I tried learning that a long time ago. And it was just like, dang, this is tough.
Yeah, Jun Senoi is really good.
Yeah, it is interesting to, like, when you try to learn, like, someone else's solo or playing, you're like, kind of learn how they move their fingers around.
Right.
You're like, oh, this is kind of how they solo. And this is where they kind of like to play. And everybody has their own, like, you know, box that they gravitate towards. I can't really describe it, but I definitely know Jun's style when I hear it. There's just something, I don't know if it's the way he bends or
it's really
the type of
there's like it's so clean.
Yeah, there's
I know it's obviously the mixing too,
notes.
but like there's it feels like he very gently handles the strings versus some other guitar players.
Yeah.
It feels very smooth, if that makes sense. When he's going from,
because
especially listening to like the open riff, the opening riff to Live and Learn, it just feels so, like everything's just so tight and.
Yes, I noticed that when trying to play it. I'm like, oh wow, I'm kind of like, I'm hitting some muted strings in between here.
Yeah, you don't hear any, like, the string going down because I know that happens sometimes, especially with like acoustic.
Oh yeah.
Like you kind of hear the sliding and stuff. You don't hear that in his playing. Super cool.
I almost wonder how much of that is in post or if that's straight up how he plays.
I mean,
I always wonder about that.
Live performances, I mean, unless a bunch of it is, you know, the effects are just doing all that legwork. It seems like it's just straight up his playing.
Sweet.
Because the effects can only do so much. It's ultimately the player.
Yeah.
Anyway, and random guitar anecdote aside.
We got him back in Shadow Gens.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll come back for more.
Yeah. I need more dying cats in my soundtrack, so.
Holy
I
smoke.
forgot that knocks you off the board.
Oh, shoot, you're right.
You can
pick up on that.
Yeah, play it at the beginning on foot for a little bit. I think that's, like, kind of it. I don't have much more to say. I don't know if we got around to your closing thoughts. That's my bad.
Oh, dude, I don't even know either. I mean, my closing thoughts are my opening thoughts. I had a really good time in the theater watching this. Yeah, it's my favorite of the three. I thought it was just a really fun watch. I love Keanu's role as Shadow. Keanu Reeves and Jim Carrey are two of my favorite actors, like from a young age.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think about it at first, but yeah, seeing them on screen together, or well, you know, one voice, one on screen. Yeah, in the same production. I'll have to look it up if they've ever been in other projects together.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, that is kind of special for me.
John Wick is. I think I had mentioned when I did the Tokyo thing with Pariah that I had never seen any Keanu movie other than Bill and Ted. But I did see John Wick, and John Wick is one of my favorite movies of all time, so I don't know why. I don't know why I deleted that from my brain. Never seen The Matrix, though.
Okay, yeah, and that's probably my favorite movie. So
yeah, I really want to see The Matrix. But Jim Carrey has, obviously he's like one of the best actors ever. So
he's so funny. Like, and whenever I whenever I make my own jokes in my own videos, I try to remind myself that there are people who probably don't think Jim Carrey's funny, and then I feel a lot better about myself. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Not everyone has to like you because someone won't always.
Yeah, you're just pleasing the people that do like you, and hey, that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah. So, a lot of times that's just yourself.
Yeah. Ending on this wonderful note, probably in the middle of this, unless you have anything more you want to say.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm looking forward to Sonic 4 whenever I'm an older man, unfortunately.
And older, wiser, of course.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And maybe by then...
I'll feel no different.
Maybe by then the Superstars video will be out.
It will. I can actually say this. 3 years? Yeah.
Yeah, when does it come out? 2026? Oh, yeah, certainly. Yeah.
Good Lord. Yeah.
Alrighty, Vic. Thank you so much for doing this with me. This was a blast, and definitely let me know if you guys want to see more stuff, either it's with other creators or Bick. I mean, I'd say I can't speak for him, but based on my social skills, I could probably say that we tend to have a good time together, so...
Indeed.
Be happy to do this kind of stuff again, and of course, let us know your thoughts on Sonic 4. I'll try to read everything that I can. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And Vic, if you would like to sign off.
See you soon, fellas.
Peace out.